Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the BullParagon channel. It is a brand new year. It is January 2nd, 2023. I'm going to take some time here to go through a little bit of how I'm looking at my assessments for the week, what I want to get into. Of course, the first thing that I want to do is give you my disclaimer. None of this is investment advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Everybody needs to do their own due diligence, do their own research, and take responsibility for their own decisions with their own money. So with that said, we're going to get into a little bit here. We're looking at the relative strength charts. I've done several videos on these in the past and post a lot about these in the Discord. So when you hear me refer to the Discord, that is the Knights of the Round Table Discord. I'll have a link below. We have a Grand Hall, which is a general chat that's open for everybody. And then we've got some specifics that we get into with different premium channels and services within there as well. But please come by, check it out. You'll see a lot of write-ups on what I'm going to talk about today in that section. So with that being said, we've got these charts set to 4 days and 1 hour time frames. And starting up here at the top in this top left corner, we're looking at a chart with several ETFs. Our main white line, that thick white line that we use as a baseline in each of these different charts, the thick white line is the baseline. This is going to be SPY in your top left, and then the other lines are some of the sectors within SPY, or some other sectors that I just like to watch, some other ETFs that I like to watch a lot. As we go across here, the next one, you'll notice we have SPY here again, but this is a little bit more of a hot list. These are stocks that I've either been playing lately, stocks that I'm intending to play. These are areas that I'm looking to focus, and I like to have them together in one spot to kind of see if something's taking off, if something's being neutral, just following the pack. And you'll see here with Carvana 2 days ago, or really 3 days ago it started, but 2 days ago, this thing took a little rocket ship here and separated from the pack and really started to take off. And if you're watching your watch list in a chart like this, where you can have especially a chart with its peers and see when things have breakouts and start to pull away from the rest of the group, it's really impactful. That same time 2 days ago, we'll notice over here in the QQQ, our technology ETF, that Tesla had that big move up and away from the group. At times, we're going to see where an entire sector moves together, but if we find that one that really breaks away, whether it's to the upside or the downside, that's what gets my attention. That's where I'm saying, hey, it's time to really focus in here and watch and see what's happening, especially when you see a move like this where Tesla, our light blue cyan colored line, comes down here and it is to the downside, pulling away from the group to the downside as we're moving down, and then has the strength to come up and be a leader to the upside. That tells me there's a lot of volume, a lot of activity with that ticker, and it really gets my attention. I think most of us have been in and out of Tesla positions in the last week. Some people probably still holding now. Tesla, because of this look here on this chart, will definitely have my attention tomorrow. Now, Tesla just put out some numbers. They were a little bit below expectations. All of the auto industry has been declining, so it's not too far to the bad side, but we'll see how the industry reacts to it tomorrow, what the market does. But it's definitely one that has my attention. So as we look here, you'll notice ARKK in the first one, the ARK ETF, has had a strong pull away. We see a strong pull away with Carvana. This green line here that's getting a bit of a pull away might be the next one to watch for is PayPal. And you'll hear me talk more about that one as we go forward. Then we've got Tesla. And then as we look through these, I'm not going to break down every single one, but they're different ETFs with the stocks for each in the group. This is something that in my premium channel, I have all of these layouts, all of these grids set up with the labels, with the ticker set. I have them in different forms for the premium subscribers. So if this is something you're looking forward to add to your Thinkorswim, it is available in my channel. Come by the Discord and check out the premium channels and you'll see more details. IWM, as we get down here, this is interesting because we've had a move down and a move up, and right now we've got two different tickers pulling away. Halo is pulling away to the upside, and to the downside, we have Texas Roadhouse. That's TXRH. So this might be one that whichever direction IWM is going to go on Tuesday morning, if these hold true and stay leading to the upside and leading to the downside, you might have yourself a pull away, one to the top, one to the bottom. So definitely something to keep an eye on. So with that said, I'm going to move on to the next part of what we're looking at here, and we're going to talk a bit more about this PayPal, which looks like it might be starting to break away a little bit. And PayPal is one that I've been following closely. I've been in and out of a couple positions lately and have really been liking it. So Um, with that said, we come over here and again, on the top left, we're going to have a couple charts. The top left, and this is going to be just that hot list group that we talked about. We've got that same 4-day 1 hour, and I've also got a 2-day 10-minute chart. And I like to look at this to see if there's anything in the current that's pulling. We've got this orange line here, SOXS going down, and that makes sense. The end of the day, Friday, we had a lot moving up, and SOXS is a 3 times leveraged short of the SOXQ, which is a semiconductor ETF. So it makes sense that that was moving down while everything was moving up because it's a bearish ETF. So as we look forward and look at these other charts now, we have daily charts that show us those candles, which are my trend candles painted based on the trend that we're in. And then I've got anchored VWAPs that we're drawing from the recent swing low and the recent swing high. These are really what I'm using to show me what type of a range we're in. And as I jump down here to this SOXS right now, which is again that bear ETF, we can see that we had a recent high that we went through and anchored our VWAP. And we also have the recent low that was just a couple weeks ago on the 12th where we anchored the low. And as we zoom in here, we're pretty tight. We're within that range and we're looking at 36.90 roughly to the downside and 42.11, maybe 42, probably about 42.30 to the upside. So we don't really want to take too many plays in this range until we get that breakout either way. At least I don't. This is one of the things that I look at to see, hey, because we're working off of an anchored VWAP and this is, where the trades typically happen, I want to watch this range and see what happens, especially because we stayed in this range pretty well. We had one day that we broke out and it didn't hold. The next day we came back in, closed below, and we've been in that tight little range. So that's just something that I'm looking at to say, hey, I might want to watch here to see if we do get that breakout in either direction because we might get a move. As we look up at FSLR for solar, that's another one where we've been in a tight range, been playing with this range a little bit, started to break down, and now that we've pierced through and we stayed below, we drew a new anchored VWAP to this candle here on the 27th. And as we go forward, that will be our new primary, and I'll eventually phase out the previous one. I don't mind leaving a few on there. What I don't like to have in my chart is to have 6 of these. It gets a little muddy as looking at which one's which, but I like my charts pretty clean. I don't put a ton of indicators in any one single chart so I can have real good clear picture. But if we're watching this one, and we closed up here in the 149.70 range on Friday, I'm watching for this to be below 148.60. And I'm going to start watching. And when I say start watching and talk about these daily numbers, these daily chart numbers, if we cross these levels, I'm not automatically taking a position. I'm then moving into my intraday charts where I've got a variety of different indicators that I look at different time frames and making my decisions from there. But I don't really want to move them into those daily charts until these levels are crossed. I want to make sure I'm with momentum and I'm on the right side of the indicators that I know and trust. And from there, when that goes the right way, I'll then bring it into my daily charts and we'll start looking at things with the trend channels, with the different, 15, 30-minute, all the different indicators that we use that I've shown on previous videos. So with that said, this one over here, PayPal, is the one that's really got my attention. I'm going to back this out a little bit, and we're going to look and see PayPal has had a heck of a downslide. This thing has been moving down, and even through some bullish moves, they weren't very big, and we've been overall bearishly moving down for a year now. I mean, we were 196.10 on this, and we're down to 70 lately, down in the under 70 in the mid 66s. So, um, again, here with looking at the recent swing highs and swing lows, we had a little bit of a convergence here, and things got pretty tight in this range in the last couple of days. And we had a candle that started well below, closed above, and now we got a second candle here that starts below and closes above. What I'm looking for tomorrow when trading starts is to be above Friday's close is my first big indicator. We're already above this green line at 70.10. I definitely don't want to touch it if we're below. But if we come in and we're above this 71.30 range where we close, and I know after hours we got up to 71.70 just after the close. If we start above those levels or move above those levels during the day on Tuesday, I'm going to be looking for a call position. And when I say looking for, we're going to be looking at our intraday timeframes to make sure we have the right setup. But this is what's going to show me, hey, put this into the chart and start checking it out. So when we look at this, you guys, we're going to see this and say, hey, here we have our levels where we have our anchored VWAPs to see where our range is. Now, how do we see where we might establish some targets? And just a quick moment to give a shout out. A lot of the tickers that you see here were call outs by some of the knights in the Discord. So Sir Chosen called out PayPal, called out First Solar. Um, he really identified those probably 2 weeks ago and maybe more, and has really been on them and calling the right direction. First Solar going down, PayPal going up. SOXS, the semiconductors, 3 times leverage. That was one from Penny Magic in the chat. And then, of course, Topsky called out Carvana. It's been all over Tesla. You've seen a lot of these play out in the Discord, and I was thankful that these guys are calling these picks because I've already been in and out of some of these. Now, I'm not holding anything today. The only thing I have is a very small position for some SPY puts for the 20th of January, but I don't have any current positions, any of the others. I want to start fresh going into this week. And you guys, one thing this week, because it's the beginning of the year and we have been a little bit up and down there to end the year, I wanted to come in very light with very few positions and not be dedicated to anything in case we get a major move one way or the other in the market starting tomorrow. So what we're looking at here now is we're going to look at PayPal on the daily chart. We still have those same candles that we look at. I call them those candles because that's what everybody started calling in the Discord. They didn't have a name yet. So um, this volume profile on the right, this is a standard thinkorswim indicator, and there's a lot you can do to adjust this one and play with it. I use it pretty standard settings. The only thing that I really change around a lot is to adjust the time frame I'm looking at. This is one that working with Spectre in the chat a lot. Spectre really introduced me to volume profile and it has shown me a lot of how he uses it, and it's been a very, very solid tool lately. So um, as I say that, and we look here on the daily, here's where our close was, where we're here in that range, right about that, 70-30 to close out the day on Friday. And now what I want to watch is see, okay, if we do have that upside move, where do we have some resistance? Where do we have some heavy volume sitting there from the past? And we know those heavy volume levels, that's where people were getting in and out of positions. And of course, the more volume, the more weight to that price. So I'm expecting more resistance as we have these bars go further to the right. So you will see there's a red bar here that's referred to as the point of control within these ranges. That's usually going to be your heaviest point where you might get that resistance, you might get that possible turnaround. And when you break those levels, look out, we usually get a run. So I'm looking here in the chart and I'm seeing, okay, in the 74 range, we've got some levels. Here again in the $78 range, we have some levels, and we definitely have it in the $85 range. So if we come into this and we open, say, $72 on Tuesday and we start moving up at 72, 30, 40, and we're moving in the intraday indicators look right, I'm probably going to look for positions for calls for January 20th in the $74 range, in the $78 range, and then I'll probably go into February, like a February 17th target with this $85 number. And now you guys, we we talk strategy. We don't have to have it hit 85, but it has potential to get there. And if we start getting that movement, we will see that gap close from current price to our strike price, and that's the sweet spot where we get our best return on our options. So I'll probably go with some lower numbers that are closer dated for January 20th, and then I'll go with something for February in this 85 range. So what I want to do next is I want to take this from our daily time frame and I want to knock this down one level and say, okay, let's go instead of 1 year daily, let's go 90-day, 30-minute. And this chart now is going to look a little bit different. Excuse these lines. These VWAP lines are left over from a previous ticker I had here. I didn't clean my chart first. So um, all we're focused on here is the volume profile. So when we get over here and want to see this volume profile, now we see, okay, where are our levels at? Again, we're here in the 71.30 range. Let's see here. We're pretty good up to the 73.60 into the $74 range. And then we get some little bars here in the 78, 79, and then there's our 85 number again. So this still holds pretty true. And as we look at this and get lower in the time frames, it's of course going to be measuring lower in this chart section. So If you wanted to look at just the past 10 trading days, all of your weight's going to be down here in this range because we've been in a $71 to $66 range. All of your weight will be down there if we look at like a 10-day range. So this is how I'm using the volume profile to find levels. It helps me determine what the possibility of this stretch may be. If this is something that I'm looking just to play short term for me now is looking at options for January 20th. So we're just a few weeks out on them. And what I would look at is 2 to 3 levels out of the money. Because as we close that gap, we're going to get the best return on our options. That's what I would look at to start with. If this is something that I think has some room to go further and has some room to be a longer play, I'm going to look at something in February that has a chance to make that $85 range if we get up to this level. So, and you guys, they might be in 82, they might be in 85. You all know that when I look for my positions, I'm not looking for a single contract. I like to find that spot where I can get a sizable amount of contracts so I can scale in and out. I also want to tell you part of my strategy. If we really do start going up Tuesday morning, I'm looking for small positions and I want to add as we go through the week and say, okay, Tuesday did we hold with momentum? Wednesday did we hold? There's a good chance because it's the beginning of the year and everybody's just gone through rebalancing their portfolios in the year. We might see a surge in buying as people see buying opportunities out there in the market and see things that look to be underpriced. And we also might see some selling because we've got people that are clearing out portfolios because there's still a big feeling out there in the market that we're going to see some downside. So people might want to start letting go of some things. So I'm not going in too heavy with anything right away to start. And I'm proceeding with caution that we might have some gap up days, some gap down days this week, and they could very well be there. So I will probably be making some smaller, more intraday positions. Even if I take a little bit of size in a position, I probably won't hold all that size overnight. I'll look to get out overnight or maybe just hold a small position. Um, just my thoughts on where we're at in the market this week and approaching with some caution. So, with all of that said, I'm going to flip over here to the Discord that I've been telling you all about. This is our Knights of the Roundtable Discord. This is the Grand Hall chat where you see a lot of back and forth. I mean, all weekend this chat's been constantly busy. Everybody's doing their research and posting different things. You'll see several of my posts in here that are posting a lot of what I'm watching going into the week. You're going to see just a ton of details here. If you're interested in these custom indicators, whether it's the candles, the relative strength charts, once you get in the Discord, you're going to come on down here and look for this premium access. This is where you'll sign up. And once you sign up, it brings you and shows you 2 new channels. One is going to be my main BullParagon channel where you see all the scripts and all the details, the YouTube videos, and then you're also going to see the weekly charts, which is a new section I've started that's posting more in depth on these charts with the write-ups, with where I'm finding my information, what I'm looking at. You guys, it's way too many charts, way too much here, but if you want to look through it or even just take a little snapshot of some of the individuals, what we're looking at, this will give you a lot of where my head's at going into the week for trades. So just want to take a minute to share this with you. And also on our website, we now have it set up where you can sign up for one-on-one lessons with the Knights. So if there's a certain part of your trading that you want to further develop, you want to get some insights on, or if you want to spend some time going through setting up some charts and some custom indicators, you can sign up on the bullparagon.com website for that one-on-one coaching. So all of that is available to you there. I look forward to seeing you all in the roundtable. I hope that it's a great, successful year for all of us. It is the first day of trading tomorrow. Let's get out there and make it a great 2023. Thank you all.